The late afternoon sun, a hazy orange disk sinking towards the jagged silhouette of the Rocky Mountains, cast long shadows across the porch of the weathered log cabin. Inside, Eleanor, a woman whose 70-odd years had etched a roadmap of laughter and sorrow onto her face, sat nestled in a plush, hand-knitted afghan. A steaming mug of Earl Grey tea warmed her hands, its fragrant steam swirling in the crisp mountain air. Outside, the wind chimes. A gift from her granddaughter Maisie tinkled a gentle melody, a counterpoint to the crackling fire in the stone hearth beside her. Eleanor gazed out at the sprawling vista, the familiar peaks now dusted with the first hints of early autumn snow. A sigh, not of sadness, but of quiet contemplation, escaped her lips. Her mind drifted back, as it often did these days, to a time when her life had been a whirlwind of social engagements, a dizzying circuit of potlucks, birthday bashes, and impromptu get-togethers. She remembered a younger Eleanor, perpetually on the go, her calendar a vibrant tapestry of names and addresses, each entry representing a promise to connect, to be present, to participate. She chuckled softly, recalling the sheer energy she'd possessed. Driving her trusty Ford Fairlane across town to Millie's Tupperware party, baking a double batch of her famous apple pie for the church bake sale, staying up until the wee hours at the Elks Lodge, playing spirited rounds of pinochle. It had all seemed so vital then, so intrinsically linked to the fabric of her friendships. Her phone, a sleek smartphone Maisie had gifted her, lay silent on the side table. It buzzed occasionally with notifications. A Facebook post from a distant cousin, a group text about a high school reunion she had no intention of attending. Each ping was a faint echo of a life lived at a different tempo, a life where staying connected meant constant motion. A vivid memory surfaced. A 4th of July barbecue at the sprawling ranch of her old friend, Beatrice. The air had been thick with the smell of grilling hamburgers and hot dogs, the soundscape a boisterous mix of laughter, children shrieking as they chased fireflies, and the twang of a country music playlist. Eleanor, then in her late 30s, had flitted through the crowd, a plate of potato salad in hand, making sure to exchange pleasantries with everyone, from Beatrice's cantankerous Uncle Earl to the gaggle of teenagers huddled by the bonfire. She'd felt a sense of accomplishment at the end of the night, a satisfying exhaustion that came from having made the rounds. But even then, a tiny seed of unease had begun to sprout. Amidst the cheerful chaos, she'd caught a fleeting glimpse of Beatrice sitting alone on the porch swing, a wistful expression on her face. Eleanor had meant to join her, to have a real conversation, but she'd been swept away by another wave of well-wishers, another demand on her seemingly inexhaustible social battery. The moment had passed, a missed opportunity that lingered in her memory like a faint ache. Years spun by, marked by graduations, weddings, and the quiet passing of loved ones. The energy that had once propelled Eleanor through her bustling social life began to wane. The thought of navigating rush hour traffic to attend a neighborhood book club meeting felt increasingly daunting. The lively chatter at crowded restaurants started to grate on her nerves. The spontaneous drop-ins on friends, once a hallmark of her easygoing nature, became less frequent, replaced by a growing desire for quiet evenings spent with a good book and her loyal golden retriever, Gus. Her friend, Margaret, a vibrant woman who still maintained a packed social calendar well into her 60s, often called, inviting Eleanor to join her for lunch at the diner or a matinee at the local cinema. Eleanor would often politely decline, offering a vague excuse about not feeling up to it. A pang of guilt would invariably follow, a whisper of the shoulds that had been ingrained in her for so long. You should make an effort. You should stay connected. You should be there for your friends. One particularly crisp autumn afternoon, Margaret stopped by unannounced. Eleanor, caught off guard, felt a familiar flicker of anxiety. But Margaret, sensing her hesitation, simply smiled and said, "Just wanted to see if you were still kicking, Elle. Brought you some of Mrs. Henderson's famous blueberry muffins." They sat on the porch swing, the same one where Eleanor had last seen Beatrice looking so pensive all those years ago. They didn't engage in forced small talk. Instead, they spoke of things that truly mattered: their children, their health, the changing seasons. Margaret didn't pressure Eleanor to join her next social outing. She simply sat with her, a comfortable silence punctuated by the rustling leaves and the distant drone of a crop duster. As Margaret was leaving, she turned to Eleanor and said, "You know, Elle, true friendship isn't about how many times we see each other. It's about knowing we're there for each other when it counts." Her words resonated deeply, a soothing balm to Eleanor's lingering guilt. The years continued their steady march. Eleanor's world, once expansive and outward-facing, gradually contracted, not out of isolation, but out of a conscious reprioritization. Her energy became a precious commodity, carefully guarded and invested in the relationships that truly nourished her soul. She cherished her weekly phone calls with Maisie, now a young architect living in Seattle. She looked forward to the occasional visits from her son, Thomas, and his family. These were the connections that filled her cup, the relationships where shared history and genuine affection transcended the need for constant physical proximity. She found immense comfort in the familiar rhythm of her days in the cabin. The creak of the wooden floorboards, the warmth of the sun streaming through the windows, the comforting weight of Gus's head on her lap. These were the anchors of her present contentment. The thought of dressing up in her Sunday best, driving 30 miles to a crowded potluck where she'd likely engage in superficial conversations, held little appeal. Her peace, she realized, was worth more than the fleeting validation of social obligation. One evening, while scrolling through old photos on her computer, Eleanor stumbled upon a picture of herself and Beatrice from that long-ago 4th of July barbecue. They were laughing, arms linked, the youthful exuberance radiating from the faded image. A wave of affection washed over Eleanor, tinged with a familiar regret for the unspoken conversation on the porch swing. On a whim, she looked up Beatrice's number. It had been years since they'd last spoken. After a moment of hesitation, she pressed call. Beatrice answered on the third ring, her voice a little softer, a little more weathered, but instantly recognizable. They spoke for over an hour, reminiscing about old times, sharing updates on their families, their voices weaving a tapestry of shared history and enduring affection. There was no awkwardness, no sense of lost time, only the comfortable familiarity of two souls reconnecting after a long journey. As they said goodbye, Beatrice said, "It was so good to hear your voice, Elle. We should do this more often." "We should," Eleanor agreed, a genuine warmth spreading through her chest. This connection, forged in the crucible of shared experiences, didn't require constant tending. It simply existed, a quiet ember that could be rekindled with a simple phone call. Eleanor looked back out at the mountains, now bathed in the soft glow of twilight. The wind chimes continued their gentle song. She realized that her decision to visit people less often wasn't a retreat from life, but a deeper engagement with it, a focusing of her precious energy on the connections that truly mattered, on the peace she found in her own space, and on the understanding that true friendship transcends the need for constant physical presence. It was, in its own quiet way, a profound act of self-care, and a testament to the evolving nature of relationships as life unfolds. Now, let's distill the wisdom gleaned from Eleanor's journey and the underlying message of the initial text into practical advice. Prioritize your energy. Recognize that your energy levels may change over time. Be mindful of how you invest this valuable resource. Focus on spending time with individuals who bring you genuine joy and warmth, rather than feeling obligated to maintain a wide array of superficial connections. It's perfectly acceptable to say no to social engagements that feel draining. Avoid unnecessary stress and drama. Your emotional well-being is paramount. Protect your peace by limiting exposure to social situations that involve gossip, negativity, or conflict. You are entitled to surround yourself with people who uplift and appreciate you. Don't feel compelled to endure toxic environments to prove your loyalty. Embrace the comfort of your own space. As you age, the comfort and familiarity of your home can become increasingly important. Value the peace and tranquility of your personal environment. There's no need to feel guilty for choosing a quiet evening at home over a potentially draining social event. Consider inviting close friends to your space when you feel up to socializing. Value quality over quantity in relationships. True satisfaction in your social life comes from the depth and authenticity of your connections, not the number of people you know. Focus on nurturing a few meaningful relationships, rather than spreading yourself thin trying to maintain numerous superficial ones. Genuine friendships are built on trust, mutual respect, and appreciation, not constant contact. Acknowledge shifting priorities and engage in self-reflection. As life progresses, your priorities naturally evolve. Pay attention to what truly brings you fulfillment, peace, and purpose. It's okay for your focus to shift inward, towards self-care, personal growth, and enjoying the present moment. Don't feel bound by old routines or social expectations that no longer align with your current needs and desires. Understand that genuine friendships don't require constant visits. The most valuable friendships are those that can withstand periods of less frequent contact. True bonds are built on a deeper foundation of trust, understanding, and shared history. Don't feel guilty for not seeing someone all the time. What matters is being there for each other when it truly counts. If someone makes you feel guilty for not visiting more often, it might be worth reevaluating the nature of that relationship. In essence, the journey of life often leads us to a deeper understanding of what truly nourishes our souls. It's about consciously choosing how we spend our precious time and energy, prioritizing meaningful connections over superficial obligations, and finding peace in our own space. True friendship isn't measured by constant presence, but by the unwavering support and genuine affection that endures, regardless of physical distance or the frequency of visits. If you found this video insightful and relatable, please show your support by hitting the like button and subscribing to our channel for more content that encourages self-reflection and mindful living. We'd also love to hear your thoughts. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much did this video resonate with you? Share your rating in the comments below. Your feedback helps us create more content that truly connects with you. Thanks for watching.